I heard the phrase the other day, tell, then test, in reference to training. The idea that you're just going to present a bunch of information and then do a test at the end and then call that training is really laughable on a lot of different levels. There's a lot of fallacies in that approach. One is, as we all know, nonstop presentations are horrifically boring and wildly ineffective. Regardless of your thoughts on the retention rate of presentation-only style training, the reality is it is boring. Another weakness of this approach is that it doesn't provide your learners any opportunity to apply the information, practice the information, think about, ruminate, cogitate on the information, really absorb and take it on board. It doesn't give them any chance to discuss it, to do anything other than just hear it and immediately regurgitate it back. We'll do a webinar. Another glaring flaw with this training approach is that at the end of the day, let's say your participants hear what is presented and you test them and they immediately regurgitate it back to you. The likelihood that they're going to retain that information for any appreciable amount of time is very low. Another shortcoming of this approach is, again, even if somehow your participants magically remember this information, the likelihood of it changing their behavior is very low. Just having a piece of information in your mind doesn't really cause you to act any differently. I know full well that I shouldn't eat that piece of German chocolate cake at the end of my dinner because I'm overweight. So just having the raw knowledge is nice, but it's really not changing the behavior. Yet another shortcoming of the tell then test approach is that when you test at the very end of the session, the idea is that, oh, well, we'll really prove that we did some good training. No, you're measuring whether or not people could remember information for a short period of time. Whoop-dee-doo. What you want to do is test them a short time later after the session ends and have the test focused on them applying the information. That does a couple things. One is it measures whether they retain the information for more than the length of the session. Number two, it helps you measure whether they can apply that information to a scenario or to a set of data that's in front of them. And then thirdly, even if they can't do that, it builds in a repetition of the knowledge. When they get the question wrong and the right answer pops up, you're getting another dose of that information. So what's the final verdict on the tell then test training mindset? Boring. Simply put, people are not tape recorders, and simply just telling them a bunch of information and expecting them to then do something with that information is laughable. Then the idea that, oh, we tested them, therefore we did some really great training, you're really not measuring the right things. At the end of the day, you're sort of patting yourself on the back saying, oh, we did a great job. The reality is you're wasting everyone's time.